Wow. Holy cow, we still consume 3 rooms. This is pretty outstanding. How's everyone doing? Oh, come on. Come on. All right, listen. Oh, I forgot. I don't actually have a for real microphone attached to me this time. So, you know, this has been a profound time of getting together. I have not felt this level of energy and momentum and collaboration and friendships happening in a single gathered event for a long time. And I've been to a few events, so I appreciate that quite a bit. Now, on Tuesday, I kind of asked all of you to go make a new friend. How many have made a new friend? Show of hands. Okay, if you don't have your hand up, the door's right there. Because if you didn't make a new friend, like, what were you doing? All right, so I've seen more heads up from laptops, more heads up from cell phones during this conference than I have in a long time, and that means that what we're sharing with you, the program that's been composed here, matters, and it matters a lot. Here's some takeaways from my point of view. You may have your own list, but Europe is investing. Europe is investing at a public and government and EU and country-specific level, and that is showing up in the calls for tender and the projects being spun up around the continent here as well as around the world. Europe is investing not for Europe alone, not in isolation, but in global collaboration. None of us are going anywhere alone. We need all the stakeholders in the community. We need all the interests around the world because that's where we find our development partners, our manufacturing, our supply chains, and those customers matter a lot as well. Europe is investing. We see that on the commercial side as well. That is fundamentally critical to long-term strategic success and the durability that you find in RISC-V in pinning your hopes and investments to it for the next many decades to come. And it shows. It's showing up big. In fact, you know, we've shown all these hockey curve graphs of opportunity. Opportunity is driving commercialization, met on the other side by innovation happening in research and commercial sectors to go and fuel and feed and foster that innovation and that commercialization. At the end of the day, if you're not wildly successful on RISC-V, then what are you doing here, right? All of that activity, all of that momentum that's happening back in labs, back on desktops and laptops and cell phones, and sometimes aided by AI, right? We heard a lot about AI, is fueling a cycle, a self-sustaining cycle, and that's really important. Okay, so number 3, what's coming next? A call for talent. How many students do we have in this room? And I'm pretty sure that entire back row, standing room only, is students. How many students do we have? Let's see hands. All right, how many people are hiring? Now I want to see hands again. How many people are hiring? Find each other. Answer the call. Call for talent. It's out there, and talent is in demand. The world has gotten much smaller, and by the way, this is kind of like a family reunion. You're going to continue to see all of us, right? So that brings us to another point. RISC-V is the center of that gravity at a global level. It's the center of that gravity as we come together to sharing global standards, to create technical elements that matter, that you can build on and know that will persist through time. RISC-V is the place that you can count on to amplify the great work that you're doing through events like this, through blogs and other ways that we amplify things. So if you're not engaged in RISC-V International, as a member, as a stakeholder, as part of that community, sign up, figure out how to get involved. This is how we are cementing the future. And that window of opportunity it's a small one, right? I mean, we've got like 70 different work groups going on in parallel. Once it's frozen, it's frozen. So get involved, infuse your strategy, because that's where things are going next. Show up and think about how we can help amplify the success that you're having and how we can help shore up talent through online learning and the certifications that we've announced, through learning side by side, shoulder to shoulder with your peers and colleagues that are engaged in the industry. There's like so much love to happen here, and this, by the way, is your home. I hope that when you came to this summit, that you felt like you were coming home. You had friends that you already knew, you made a bunch of new friends, and you really felt like these are your people. We are. And I hope that you felt as warmly welcomed as I did. So thank you for all of that. And I hope that I see many of you coming up in China in August, in Santa Clara in November. Those are our next summits. And in between, I hope to see you online. I hope to see you in the many online forums and the many other ways that we engage together in our work groups, in our committees, our SIGs, and in all the other forums that we have to continue building these connections, continue building these relationships, because they matter and they're going to persist through time, just like RISC-V. All right, I'm going to welcome Christian to the stage as well, and maybe just give the stage over to him. So, but please, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for contributing, and thank you for making this summit wildly successful.
So, thanks, Calista. So I'd like to go through a couple of slides before the end of this day. So I would like first to thank our sponsor, which I've been betting very early on that this event would be a success. So thanks again to everybody which sponsored this event. The slide, abstracts, posters, and video will be available shortly on our website, so stay tuned, come back frequently to see, and we'll put that online as soon as we get information. I'd like to make a big thanks for the various committee and organizer which were there, so especially people which have been running around in the previous week and during those 3 days to make it a success. So I will name Yara, Paula from BCO, Elisea, Teresa from Barcelona, from BSc, Tiffany and Andy from RISC-V International, Boria from BSc as well, Daniel, George, and Stefan from the program committee, and obviously all the presenters, the session chairs, and the volunteers which are on the back of the room. So a big thank to all these people. So there is still one day to go for the side events. So that's going to be tomorrow. It will be in the rooms which were dedicated to the exhibition during those 3 days. They will be reconfigured during the night. So this is the current schedule. It's going to be put online. It's online, and it's going to be printed on the TV elsewhere. The break will be much shorter. There will be no exhibition and no posters, so the break will be shorter. The lunch also. Every break and lunches will be in common, so we'll have a last occasion to network for the various during the various presentation tomorrow. And that's about it. We will be back next year somewhere in Europe. So the date and place to be announced. So stay tuned. We'll announce that in the coming weeks. That's it. Thank you.